Hi, my name is Dr. Zach Mills, and I serve as the Scholarship Chair for the Association for Christians in Student Development, or ACSD. ACSD is a professional association that exists to serve individuals who've dedicated their careers to serving college students. Folks who, as student leaders, I guarantee you've interacted with regularly. People like your RD, or your student activities director, your orientation leader, or your intramural sports coordinator. People like the folks that plan this conference, CSLC. They work in student development. Hopefully, all throughout your college career, we've been there. We've been there because we believe this is good work. We believe it's a meaningful investment of our time and talents to invest in students, to serve God, and to invest in the next generation. Now, you may find yourself asking, what is student development? I'm glad you asked. Over the next 20 minutes, myself and my colleagues are going to tell you about this exciting profession, some of the career opportunities it provides, and some graduate programs to get you started. You'll hear from, during our time, Dr. Rico Ramos talking about career opportunities in higher education and student development, Dr. Skip Trudeau talking about why we think you should choose higher education, Dr. Kimberly Black talking about what is an assistantship and how do I pick one, and Dr. Janine Kranzow talking about how to pick the right program for you. After that, I'm going to come back and share some resources and conclude our time together. We hope you'll enjoy this time, and without further ado, I'll turn it over to my colleagues. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Rico, and I want to invite you to consider a career in higher education and student development. When we think about our college journey and all the folks who are there supporting us, empowering us, encouraging us, there are so many opportunities to make a career, a vocation in higher education. So I want to just showcase a few to get you thinking about potential career opportunities that you may want to consider with a degree in higher education. So within this field, working with emerging adults or adults who are returning back to start a new career or complete their degree, a career in higher education offers us the opportunity to make a meaningful impact in the next generation, in individuals, their families, and our community as a whole. And how we can do that is through different roles within student development. So one of the ones that is most common is residential life. And so working as a director, a coordinator, or manager within that role, and it's helping students remove that anxiety that can come sometimes from housing insecurity, and also creating opportunities for connection, for belonging, for community, and to explore, because for many of our students, right, if they're the first going to college, or this is the first time that they're moved away from home, this is where a lot of that development happens in residential life, in community. There's also roles in student engagement and formation, especially if you're in a Christian campus. You may have spiritual formation where students are really starting to develop their own identity, and you guide them through that with different events, with different engagement opportunities, through community building, and just different activities that really help them explore who they are, why they're here, where they're going. There's also, on the academic side, helping them persist towards their goals. And so you may have academic advisors or academic counselors who help them along that journey, identifying what courses to take, when to take them, and then providing counsel to them along their journey with different academic support services as well. You may be interested in counseling people through their career and vocational discernment, and so there's career services on our campuses. If you're really passionate about belonging and building community, you may be interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion work, different mission trips on faith-based institutions, or other affinity groups and clubs and organizations on your campus. There's also first-year experience programs that help students transition either from a K through 12 environment into higher education, or people who are coming from a community college or junior college into a 4-year, or folks who are returning back and are transitioning into the university setting. And then there's a plethora of programming that is available that is specific to unique student needs, right? So international student services, program services for youth that are foster youth, people who are English language learners, maybe it's parents. There's all sorts of programming that's available, but again, it's you bring your expertise. It doesn't have to have a background in education. You have folks that are entering the field of higher education and are earning masters in higher education, student development, student affairs, that are being prepared to go out and bring their expertise. Maybe you have expertise in program development. Maybe you have expertise in coordinating events, or maybe you have expertise in communicating and counseling and being a mentor to people. You can bring all of that insight, be prepared through content-specific higher education programs, and then step out and make a lasting impact in the lives of students, their families, and our community as a whole. So I want to invite you, just consider what opportunities you may be being called to in college and university settings.
Well, hello, my name is Skip Trudeau, and I serve as Vice President for Student Development and Intercollegiate Athletics, as well as direct the Master of Arts in Higher Education program here at Taylor University. It's really good to be with you today. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about why you should consider Christian higher education both as the next step in your academic career, but as also a vocational option for the next 40 years. I make two assumptions about you if you're at this conference. One, you're a person of faith. You're at the Christian Student Leadership Conference, so I assume that you're a Christian. The second is you're a leader. So as Christian leaders, you understand that what we do matters in a ministry sense to those around us. Well, that's kind of the essence of Christian higher education as well. So I have three reasons I want to propose to you today that you should consider Christian higher education. First, there's an economic or practical reason. I know coming out of Christian higher education, a lot of you probably are thinking, I don't want to take on more debt. It's such an expensive thing, and I understand that. But Christian higher education, academically speaking, is probably more feasible than you might think. Most programs have scholarships, assistantships, or other ways to kind of help you defray the cost. And in general, the tuition cost for a graduate program is much lower than the tuition for an undergraduate program. And then on top of that, you have to consider the ROI, or the return on investment. We have a lot of employment and labor statistics that say any investment you make in your education will pay off in the long run, both in terms of what you'll earn, but also in the quality of your life. The second reason I want to talk to you about have to do with education. In higher education, in general, there's kind of this feeling that the Christian or the faith-based or the smaller institutions are inferior. Well, that's just not true. I would urge you to compare any program you're considering from both a faith-based or a non-faith-based institution. Check their graduation rates, check what kind of jobs they're getting, their graduates are getting, and I can tell you that students who go through faith-based master's programs are, one, getting jobs, and they're getting good jobs, but two, they're also being started on great careers. Christian programs actually have a value-added component that non-faith-based programs don't. Basically, non-Christian programs or higher education in general want you to think that faith and reason are completely separate. This has long been held as important to education, that you can't keep those two in contact. We in the faith-based world have always had the sense that you can't separate that. I am both a spiritual being as well as an intellectual being. And in the faith-based programs, we combine those. So, if you will, it actually adds an added dimension to your education that a non-faith-based program would put in there. We actually add additional levels of analysis and thinking. So, in many ways, we're better. The third reason I want to give to you today is what I call spiritual and quality of life reasons. This one's really more personal for me because I've spent the last 35 years in Christian higher education, all the way from being an RA, a student leader like yourself, up to where I am now. This has been a phenomenal career choice for me. Immensely challenging at times, but also immensely rewarding. It's helped me in my own faith walk, but it's given me the chance to be a part of the discipleship, spiritual formation of literally thousands of students. And I can't think of anything more rewarding than to be a part of what God does in the few years I work with students to prepare them for their 40 years of lifelong service to Him. So if you're feeling at all interested or maybe even called by God to consider a ministry where you're a part of a discipleship, spiritual formation process with college-age students, I think you should consider Christian higher education. It's been a great choice for me, and I think it could be for you as well. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Kimberly Black, and I serve as the Director for Student Leadership Development and Strategic Initiatives in the Division of Student Life at Baylor University. Through my work at Baylor, I have the privilege of supporting our Higher Education and Student Affairs Master's Program apprenticeship experiences, alongside our Graduate Program Director and Associate Professor of Higher Education and Student Affairs, Dr. Rishi Sriram. We're excited that you all are considering a career in higher education and student affairs and hope to be helpful resources to each of you as you discern what your next steps might be on this journey. I've been asked to tell you a bit about the apprenticeship or assistantship experience specifically. Most master's programs with a focus in student affairs offer what are generally called assistantships or apprenticeships. Apprenticeships afford graduate students the opportunity to put into practice what they are learning in the classroom in real time. Additionally, through assistantships, students are introduced to one, if not two, functional areas within the college or university. Whether you're placed in student activities, residential life, international student programs, or student success, this is by no means an exhaustive list, you will be invited to support the growth and belonging of undergraduate students and ultimately enliven the mission of the college or university you are a part of. The importance of these experiences during your course of study cannot be overstated. While assistantships across master's programs vary, there are some general similarities you should anticipate. First, you should expect to learn from and alongside a group of like-minded professionals embedded as a full member of a staff team, working towards common goals. While you will likely have a single director, your proximity to additional professionals increases your scope of support, knowledge, and resources. Take full advantage of this educational opportunity outside of the classroom to network, to contribute, and to learn. Additionally, you should expect to hone your skills through your apprenticeship. No matter where you are placed, you will be afforded the opportunity to lean into your individual strengths as a professional. Supervisors will be eager to position you within their given department in ways that catalyze the skills you've already developed, but also offer you the opportunity to develop new and emerging skills. Look with excitement towards skill development opportunities that relate to your classes. For instance, if you're in an assessment class, ask your supervisor about departmental assessments and if there's any opportunity for you to contribute. The goal of all of our programs is to make you the most hireable professional you can be as you emerge with your master's. Advocating for yourself is key within this process. In closing, I encourage you to read about the various apprenticeship opportunities offered through schools that you're interested in. Most program websites describe their approach, expectations, as well as the specific positions related to their assistantships. Finally, hold loosely your expectations. All placements and all programs will afford you the opportunity to learn, to support students, and to contribute to the field of higher education and student affairs in meaningful ways. The mindset with which you enter the application, selection, and placement process is just as important as the collective experiences and expertise that drew you into higher education and student affairs to begin with. Again, we're so excited that you're here, that you're curious, and that you're exploring a calling into the very worthy field of higher education and student affairs. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Janine Cranzo from Azusa Pacific University, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to pick the right graduate program for you. This is really an individual process. So I'm going to mention the things that you might want to consider, and hopefully they'll help you make some decisions along the way. I would encourage you to take a look at the curriculum, meaning what are the classes that you're going to be taking? This is a big deal. This is a big part of what you're going to be experiencing. So see if there are things that you're excited about taking. You can usually find these on the website. Think about the class format, if it's online or if it's blended online and in person, when the classes are, whether that's evening or daytime. Consider, of course, the cost, but not just the cost, also any aid that might be available, scholarships, any graduate assistantships that might be available, and also if they have a cohort model or not a cohort model. You might even ask how many students are admitted each year into the program, and or how many students are in the cohort. Cohorts go through the program at about the same pace and tend to start and finish together. So that might be important to some of you, and to others, maybe not so much. I would definitely look at the faculty websites, look at their expertise in terms of research and possibly work experience as well, and see if that is a good fit for you. You would ask questions, I think, about the class size. I think that might be very helpful for you. Find out how many students tend to be in the classes. If you're interested in part-time attendance, make sure that's an option at the particular program you're looking for. Or if full-time attendance is really required for the program, that would be something important to know. When you look at admissions requirements, it could be things like minimum GPA. It could also be the number of references that you're going to need. And also it might include a graduate record exam, but a lot of times those are optional in a lot of programs. But it is important to look and see what's required depending on the program that you're going to be applying to. And I would definitely recommend paying attention to the location. If you're going to be moving there for a period of time, you want it to be someplace you're excited to be, or at least willing to be. And I would encourage you to visit and take a look at that location. Different programs have different exit processes or exit requirements. So some require a master's thesis, others have a comprehensive exam, still others have an electronic portfolio. So you'd want to find out which of those is the requirement for the program that you're looking at. I would definitely try to visit campus. If possible, meet and talk with current students and at least a faculty member. I would attend a class if at all possible. And I would also take a look at grad housing options if you're someone that needs to move to a location. Look around at the city and see what the experience would be like. These are all things that I think are important when making your choice. It's not an exhaustive list, but I hope that this is helpful for you as you start to consider where you might want to attend graduate school. Good luck.
Hello again, and thanks for spending this time with us. We hope it's been helpful to you. I, like my colleagues, also teach in a graduate program, and every semester I have my students reflect on how they got into the field of student development. I call this assignment their Harry Potter moment. I call it that because much like Harry Potter didn't know he was a wizard until Hedwig the Owl dropped a letter down his chimney, most people don't grow up knowing they want to be a student development professional. It's not something you generally think about in kindergarten. Talk to anyone in this profession, though, and at some point they had a moment where they realized this was a career. This was a place where they could invest their time, talent, and skills to serve students, serve others, and serve the Lord. They had what I call their Harry Potter moment, where they realized they're actually a student development professional. Maybe this could be your Harry Potter moment. Maybe not. Either way, though, we hope this has been helpful to you. Before we go, we want to share some resources with you on the ACSD website. You can see a link here to our website, or if you're not viewing this on your phone, a QR code. Specifically, we want to draw your attention to our graduate programs page. There's a number of excellent graduate programs at Christian institutions that would love to help you explore next steps in a career in student development. You can find options from all across the country, offering online, in person, or hybrid, and options where you can get work experience while you get your graduate degree. We'll hope you find something that might be a good fit for you. Also, while you're on our website, we hope you'll explore a little and see some of the other things offered to student development professionals, like our webinars or our podcast, if that's something that could interest you. Either way, we hope this has been something that's helpful to you as you discern next steps in your calling, career, and vocation. And we hope that you'll explore a career in student development. We'd love to see you at the next ACSD conference. Even if not, though, we hope this has been helpful to you as you explore how you can use your skills as a student leader in your career and vocation. Thank you again for spending this time with us, and we hope you have a great week. Thanks.